Last night on Twitter, this is a Monday afternoon as I'm talking about this, we had hashtag canceled WWE Network trending worldwide for hours. And I mean hours. Like, I went to bed and woke up, it was still trending. So this is what I'm going to call canceled WWE Network explained. So what happened yesterday was it was the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, which is the first pay-per-view of the year for WWE, a wrestling organization, and it's also one of their largest. This one's probably one of the biggest ones next to WrestleMania, I want to say. So well, I'm a big wrestling fan, been watching for 10 years and everything too, so I know about this. I was watching it last night. So basically what caused this to start was the fact that the pay-per-view was meh. It wasn't. It really didn't do anything until maybe the championship match they had towards the end, which was not even the main event, but the Royal Rumble match itself, where it's like a big over-the-top soiree to see who goes on to become number one contender at WrestleMania's main event for the world title. So every match you could tell had like a weird flow to it. Like, I wouldn't say it was rushed, but they didn't do a good job making any of these matches booked to be important. Like, we had an old tag team return to put over a new one, which makes no sense because, one, I don't think they need it because they have their developmental experiences on the WWE Network, so people knew who they were. And then on top of that, they also were just doing lackluster, like, oh, the women haven't had a match on pay-per-view at the Royal Rumble in a year or so, so we'll let them just do a tag match that we can normally do on Raw, but build it up. Yeah, they didn't really build it up, and it ended with a forearm to the face, no finishing maneuver, nothing fancy to get the audience into it. And it showed because they were off doing their own thing. They're starting their own chants for other people that aren't even on the main roster. They were chanting for people from their developmental territory in NXT, and they're also chanting throughout the pay-per-view, "We want refunds." Not a good sign. And they were in Philadelphia, which is known for hardcore wrestling fans because, well, ECW used to be there, Extreme Championship Wrestling, in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's where it was based out of. So you really have fans there that if they don't get their way, they will let you know. Like, and I've seen people saying on Twitter, like, oh, they gave us posters and everything to keep from a riot. I also read that they're trying to trap talent at the parking lot, not letting anyone get out because of how angry they were, which is just like, whoa. So the Royal Rumble match itself, many people would say that out of all the entrants, one or maybe two or three of them had a good shot of winning, and that should have won. Those people being Daniel Bryan, who was a former world champion, Dean Ambrose, who's an upstart, doing really well for himself. People want him to win, and Dolph Ziggler, another former world champion. And these are the three guys, or three baby faces, I want to say. Well, yeah, that's what they are, the heroes, as opposed to heels being the villains. These are the three top baby faces right now. The crowd was thoroughly involved with them. They were chanting for them. Daniel Bryan enters the match at number 10 out of 30, and he's eliminated very early on as well. So about 10 or so minutes into the match, he comes out, and then he's in there for another 10 minutes. The match itself went on for about an hour. So the second he got eliminated, everyone in Philadelphia in that arena just started booing the entire program for the rest of the match itself. Everyone got booed. Even the person who went on to win the match, Roman Reigns, booed into next year as far as I'm concerned because they were really, really upset. And Roman Reigns is a kind of guy, well, comparing to the other ones, he's very muscularly built. He's like the stereotypical bodybuilder kind of build that Vince McMahon, who owns WWE, tends to cheer for. That's why he booked Roman Reigns to win this match. But the thing is that none of the fans, I mean, they like what he does in the ring. I'm no disputing that. He's great in the ring, but when it comes to promo skills, being able to talk on the microphone, he's not ready to be built as a main event player or a world champion just yet. He's not ready. So when Vince McMahon is completely ignoring the fans that are cheering for almost anyone else, and he still decides to book him as their top guy for the next few months going into WrestleMania at the end of March, and the fan reception is close to that, you're really not listening to the people that watch your product then. because this isn't the first time the pay-per-views received negative attention. Last December was their Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view. Same thing. People were angry because the champion did not defend his title because Brock Lesnar only makes part-time appearances. So the fact that we went from September to January with no title defenses, it's a little upsetting as a wrestling fan, because why have the World Championship if it's not going to be defended or treated as a World Championship? It's just an accessory at that point. And the booking was inconsistent. Matches had weird finishes and everything too. And this was coming a few days after their developmental territory NXT had what they consider pay-per-view, because they're a weekly series, but they had a special live 2-hour episode, which is booked by Triple H, who is, ironically enough, Vince McMahon's son-in-law, and he's also in charge of talent and creative and everything too. He's the executive vice president. He's the one that books NXT, whereas Vince McMahon is in charge of the main roster and everything too. So, with that being said, Vince McMahon really doesn't pay any attention to NXT. He goes after what he wants, what he knows, and that's those big muscular guys, whereas Triple H is paying attention to those wrestlers on the independent scene. He's signing big names that have wrestled everywhere else but WWE to the company, and the fans love that. They've been getting shows after shows where it's just like, they have nothing but high expectations for NXT, and they know they always exceed them too. So it makes you wonder, why is Vince McMahon not noticing this anymore? But it's coming to a point where we're at a crossroads, because WrestleMania 31 is about to happen March 29th. And people are already canceling their subscriptions, not ordering pay-per-view, not ordering WWE Network, boycotting the biggest show of the year for them. So that tells you that they really are in a bad shape right now, because the biggest wrestling organization in the world losing money, losing a fan base before what's going to be probably their biggest show to date at WrestleMania 31, it's not going to end well. So that's basically in a nutshell why canceled WWE Network was a trending topic worldwide last night on Twitter. So that's just a little bit of insight why everything's been leading up to that, the pent-up frustration. Have I canceled my network subscription? No. Main point being is that you're still able to see some of the old stuff, which I think is great, because I watch older stuff from the early 2000s and everything, some of the Attitude Era stuff from the late 90s, and NXT every week, because that's still a great product. I'm going to support what I like, although lately I've been getting more frustrated with the fact that their big pay-per-views that are supposed to be originally closer to $60 a month, if you're going to buy them monthly, $80 for WrestleMania, just not getting any sort of quality entertainment. It's just not worth it. So I can see why people are canceling their subscriptions, but personally I haven't yet, because I still have hope and I still support some of their other endeavors outside of the main roster as of now. Am I going to be cutting back on watching a little bit? I'm not going to pay as much attention to Raw as I used to. I always watch every week, but I'm sick of the half-hour long promos to start shows, short matches, women not getting booked well at all, tag teams not getting booked well at all. It's not fair to me. If I'm going to invest 3 hours every Monday night on a product, I want to be entertained, and I just haven't felt that way in a while. So that's just my views on that. Please let me know what you think. If you're a wrestling fan, why you may have canceled or did not cancel your network subscription if you are a subscriber, and will you continue to watch WWE leading into WrestleMania to see if they change anything. So let me know your feedback, and I will be coming back to you hopefully within next day or so, uploading my Naked Truth on reality television. I didn't get a chance to film that yet, and you'll see that on my channel here, and I'll be glad to let you know what I think. So I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.